Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and will you look at this? Look at this crazy shiz. This is the Entropy & Sons Recursion Studio, a all-in-one video synthesizer in a container. It's made of metal. It's cool as hell. And I was sent this unit about a year ago, I think, by the maker. And I kind of slept on it because it is, quite frankly, it's complex. Like, what this can do is really bonkers. And the workflow of video synthesis, at least before, sitting down with the manual, was rather opaque to me. And so I just kind of like put it on now and then and played with it, but didn't really dig into it until now. Now, we are going to dig into it because I spent the last couple days really getting to understand what this thing can do. And I have just enough information to be dangerous, and I want to share that with you because I think it's cool as hell. Oh, look, there's my face. We'll get into all that in a little bit. Yeah, so it's a video synthesizer, and what we're going to do is we're going to walk through some patch making, basically, with it, and I'm going to show you how the internal engines work. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the end of it, you will have a sense of whether or not this is interesting. I think it's cool as hell. We won't be going through every single feature this thing has, but I will hopefully impart on you by the end of this a sense of, understanding. That's what I'm really looking for here. To get started, one thing that we probably want to do is feed this some music. Just going over the I/O real quick. There's USB-C power. There's an HDMI out right here. There's CV in on the back. You can send this thing CV. There is an audio in right here, and there is an audio out. And you can send the audio out through HDMI or through the 1/8" audio out over here, which is really, really cool. On the left-hand side, you see I have some stuff plugged in. This is a little Wi-Fi dongle that you can use to have this thing update, connect to your networks and stuff like that. This right here is a webcam. It's just a Logitech C920, whatever the heck their nicer webcam is. On the side, 2 USB 2 ports, 2 USB 3 ports. You can have up to 4 video sources that come in. There is MIDI. It will respond to MIDI. And you can send audio in via USB. So it came with a USB dongle, so you can set it up on your phone if you want to. So we're going to start with the most basic patch, Cat Party. Look, it's a cat. In order to get this to really work, we need to feed it some audio. Audio reactiveness is one of the biggest cool things of this. And the way it works is, I'll show you. I'm going to hit play over here on this really fantastic mix. We might listen to a couple of them as we go. This is from YouTuber Lily K. She has, I think, 4 mixes up. Just the best selection of super chill jazzy house. And I have been using these while I do this. Hopefully this doesn't get any copyright strikes that makes this video unplayable for anyone, but I'll hit play over here and we'll get some music. I'll put a link to all these in the description. They're really, really great. So if I go to home here, I go to I/O, you can just see our volume in right here. So it's going to pick up on what the BPM is automatically as soon as a kick drum comes in. It actually might already know. We might be at 117 for all I know. It's going to use these audio signals to do all kinds of stuff within our system. So you want to make sure that this beat signals thing is enabled, right? It is enabled right now. If I was to click that, it would say disable beat signal. There we go. Yeah. And look at that. Now it's blinking. So now it knows what the tempo is. If we go to play, I can go through these and just click on them. And it will go through different presets. So this is one way you can just have some fun. And when you're in this mode, if you play with these oh my god, I just appeared out of the middle there. If you play with these sliders, you'll see that you have some control over the whole thing, which is really cool. You can apply LFOs with these buttons. In some cases, these are macros and things that you can select. And then if you want to, just pick another one. They're all different. You can make your own, etc. But this is a great way to just sort of get to see what the device can do. Obviously, there's a lot of Fractal stuff going on. The Fractal is just one of the engines that this thing has. So let's go back to Cat Party and make something from scratch, so to speak. So for that, I'm going to go to Create. And this is where my brain kind of fell apart. I'm actually really good at figuring out how devices work. But my brain kind of just fell apart here until I sat and I read the manual. So super important. Basically how this works is on this page right here where it says inputs, from left to right, this is a series of, patches basically of little devices that are all kind of stuck together. Each one contains different amounts of things. For instance, if I go into cat and expand this, we're going to see that it has a texture for cat. If I go back and I hit party and I hit expand, we're going to see that there's more stuff in here. A deform, a hyper, 2 effects, and a lighting effect. Go back, and then we have this thing called modulators. And nothing happening with those right now. So let's dive into this just a little bit more so you can understand like how these work. So if I go to cat right now, if I turn this knob, I will automatically select from whatever this level's understanding of that module is. And if I click the button, I will get a new cat. So there are cat presets, just like there are party presets. If I change this, I'll get a different party, as you can see. Yeah, different parties. So I'm actually changing all the modules that are inside the party module right now, all the little things that are in there that we saw earlier. Same thing with modulate. We're not going to see this do anything right now because it's not assigned to anything, but don't you worry, we'll do that. So let me go into cat, expand. Now we have parameters. I'm wrong. It should say parameters, not macros. So now if I hit parameters, we're going to see that we have some parameters for our cat. I have X offset, Y offset, theta or rotation, and scale. And as I zoom out, we get many cat. Kind of looks like a pit bull. So if I wanted to, I could animate these. Every single parameter has access to either being manipulated by a macro, which we saw, excuse me, not a macro, a modulator, or I can add an LFO to it. So I'm going to click into one of these, like X offset, let's say, and I'm going to go to LFO, which is down here. Boop. And I'm going to hit Start LFO. And we're going to automatically see that we have a sinusoidal LFO going back and forth. One of the cool things about this is that you can see over here, it says rate 8B. Well, that's because it's counting bars and beats. So I could change this to like 32 bars or 2 bars, and it would respect the tempo of our thing. So this is one of the quickest ways to get like beat-based stuff. It recognizes the tempo. It knows how many counts it should count for bars and beats, and then it does that. So that's pretty cool. You can change the minimum and maximum of this. This is really important to get the right amount of movement or parameter modulation. If I hit type, I can go into different types of LFOs. So here is like scroll, for instance. This should just keep going. So before we had that gap with this, where it kind of like returned, not a gap, but like it was oscillating. Now it just scrolls, which is great. So I'm gonna actually leave that on. You can see we have our modulators here. We'll use those in a while, but I just wanted to show you the LFO thing. I don't think you can use them both at once, which is a little unfortunate. Now you can see that our X offset is modulating right there. So let's go ahead and increase our scale a bit. That's gonna be the 4th knob. And let's go ahead and go back into our cat, expand this. Okay, so over here where we have our cat, you can see that we're sort of like a library of cats. So if I turn this gold knob, I'm going to get, library of cats. I'm going to get different cat presets. Wow, that cat literally flipped out. And I can switch between them. Fish tacos, oh my goodness. But if I click this and then click expand and go into, I think it's library, I'll have access to other things. Now I can actually access a lot of these in other ways, but for instance, here's this video texture. So here I am. Hi, it's me. We'll leave it on the video texture for right now because this is going to be some of the most fun we can have. But there are tons of things in here that you can access, and I'll show you some of those later. But like we have images, we have, what do you call it, solid colors. We have images you can bring in. We have these things called lights. It's kind of cool. Look at that. And these all have parameters that you can manipulate, like scales and stuff like that. We have auto-reactive wave things. Look at that. That's so cool. So we're getting this crazy rainbow effect on there right now. That's because of the party section of this. So let me go back to my video here. All right. Let's go ahead and flip me. Yeah, I look so great right now. Wow, it's my true self. Okay, so we have inputs, and those inputs have parameters, and those parameters can be manipulated either by you or by you and LFOs, or as we'll later see, by modulators. So I'm going to go into party here, and I'm going to hit expand. And now we can see that we have some effects and stuff. So what I'm going to do is just turn some of these off. So this is our hyper effect. So I'll turn that down. This is our first effect. Second effect, we have fade, red level, and then we go RGB, mod Z, mod ZY, mod ZR, height, and stuff. So these are all things that as you move the parameter space around, you can access with the knobs. I'm not going to mess with them right now because I want my beautiful face to just be like as it is, you know? Go back to inputs. Okay, so deform. Right now we have no deform effect on, but if we scroll through here, we're gonna have some effects. For instance, this, or my favorite, this. There's my true self. Hi, I'm Alistair Bighead, and I have the tree of Oakland on my head, and this is my true self. Yeah, I have spent like probably 45 minutes just fucking with this and like dancing like this. Look how beautiful my chest is. This is the perfect body. All right. So if we go into expand our ripple effect here, we're going to see that it is made up of a wave and it has some parameters. So what do we have? We have frequency. Woo! Oh, there. I'm Hassan Piker now. Oh no, that's not good. I need a big body. There we go. Oh no. Potion seller. Potion seller. I need your strongest potions. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, that is not okay. Anyways, it's really, really fun. So all of these can be, if you're in here and you can click on one of these, it can be modulated again. So I will hit LFO, and I'll just hit start LFO, and you'll see that now. Cool. So we have these deformers, and they can be put on things. Go back to inputs. We've got a bunch of these. Oh, I can change the wave. So if I change the wave here, you'll notice that we get a different shape of deformation. And you'll notice that all of these parameters kind of like scoot into place. That means that there's all places that if you are doing this live, you can mess around in real time within the guts of the patch and do interesting things. Whoa. Holy shit, that's really wild. In some places, we have access to what's called a band wave, and that's going to pull immediately from the audio, which is really, really cool. I'm not seeing that in this particular thing, so we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, that's one of the deformers. If we keep on going, we'll see that we have other ones. This is my terrifying Junji Ito Uzumaki one. I'm assuming that, oh yeah, so if I put a scroll on this parameter right here, this would be the fourth parameter. Phase, yeah, let's put a scroll LFO on that. So type, scroll, and start. But yeah, now I've got that going on. If I was to go back to our input and go to where my video is, then I could find the parameter. I think it's theta. Let's scroll that. Yeah. All right. Well, there's horrors beyond our comprehension. So now I'll go back. Let's go back to the party area, and then I will hit expand, and we've got these different effects. So this is the hyper effect. If I turn this up, we'll see that now we've got that on. If we scroll through these, we'll see that we have all kinds of things that we can apply to this. Woo! Oh, that grain? That was cool. Whoa! Oh, wow, that's insane. Like dithering, that's super cool. Chromatic aberration. So there's all kinds of things in here that you can apply. I'm going to turn that down for right now. Then we have two other effects. This is rainbow. So that's pretty fucking cool. There's all kinds of like palette effects basically that you can mess with in here. And they have their parameters as well. So lots of really interesting things you can do color-wise afterwards. And this is just one series of engines. Like when we get into like the Fractal engine, you'll see that we have some other things that we can mess with. So all of these, because we do have access to their parameters, can be modulated. So the effect 1 is right here. So if I wanted to, I could go in there and I could say LFO, just start. And you'll notice that it's like fading in and out, right? Okay, so party module, all the way on the right here, we have lighting. This is sort of a final effect, and if I click on this, we'll get some like overall lighting effects to the thing. These can be very transformative, as you can see. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like that one. Let me show you the rest of the deformers, because that's where a lot of the fun is going to happen, right? So we have pixelate. Yeah, there's me. I'm in there somewhere. Bands. This one automatically pulls from the audio. It's a little jerky, as you can see. I'm sure there's a way to chill that out. This one. Hi. I've got a forehead. I've got a chin. My forehead is up and down. That's because I spin. Yeah. If I ever get tired of what I've done here, I can just hit the patch that started it all, and I'm back. Cat, cat, cat. I love this cat. Okay, let me show you the modulators. So I'm going to go into party. Actually, no, I'll use this. So I'm going to go to X offset, which we know is this, right? I'm going to go ahead and attach this to modulator 1. And immediately you see that there is an effect. And that's because our modulators are shapes. They're like interference patterns. So here's modulator 1. If I switch these shapes, we're going to notice that I can even use video as one, which can create some really interesting feedback effects. But we have different patterns. If I expand, oh wow. That's cool. I didn't know that one automatically modulated. I'm going to go ahead and expand into our modulator here, and we're going to see that we have a mount. That is so cool. Whoa. We have a guide. If I switch this guide, we'll see different effects here. I liked what we had before, but there are all these different shapes in here. That's cool. So of course I could put that on an LFO if I wanted to. So just tons of stuff in here. You saw that we had video as one of our options, but we also... Ooh, spiral. What was that? Give me that spiral. That was cool. Yeah, that's super cool. Video. Oh, yeah, these are the audio ones. So as I click one of these, you'll notice that we're going to start to get audio reactive stuff, right? So there are auto-reactive modulators that are these crazy-looking shapes, right? And they will do things to what you put them on. Right now we're messing with the X-axis. If I wanted to make this a little less, like, kind of, like, weird, there's another one. These can be used in interesting ways. I find myself really using the LFOs more than anything else, but this is one way to do that. So we have this astoundingly powerful engine just in the cat party thing that we can play with, bringing in different textures. You can bring in images that you want, patterns that you want. If I was to click into here, and here are some good boys that I brought on. Here's Legoshi. He is being a good boy. And if I was to mess around with him a bit, for instance, put this on an LFO. You can hit randomize and just see what you get. Yeah, there he goes. Now he's splitting apart. Whoa! Calm down, Luigi. Almost said Luigi. Calm down, Luigi. Whoa! Oh no! Oh, that's actually pretty good. I like that. So this is where all the like really interesting modulation happens, obviously. So just hitting randomize will give you some interesting results. He's in there somewhere. This is Hyper Legoshi. Not that way though. Okay, cool. So at the risk of this video not being 20 billion years long, let's go ahead and move on to the other engines. This is really fun. I could do this all day, but let's go to create, and I will pick one of the other ones. So we saw that when I was playing with at the beginning, Fractal. Hi, it's me, much more fun Jeremy. I don't really understand why Jeremy took so long in this video, so I'm just going to show you some really cool ones that he made later after the video. So hey, take a look at this one. This is pretty good, right? Look at it. It's auto-reactive. Wow. How about this one? This is a lot cooler than anything else he showed you in that stupid video, right? I told you I'm the fun one. Check out this one. Does that make you happy? I think it's pretty damn cool. What about this one? You like this? I know you do. How about this? Huh? What do I need to do to make you happy? I think this is fucking cool as hell. So we found that if you hit randomize on the different individual sections in the Recursion engine, then you can get, hey, calm down ears. You can get much more interesting results than if you hit randomize on everything. So with Wavy Boy specifically, go in there and you hit randomize on like the waveform generator, the scope generator, and then the modulators, and then everything starts to get really, really cool. And you can just hit randomize until you find something that you like. Here's another example of that going on. Hey. Pretty stoked on this one, if I do say so myself. Again, here's another one. Much better than what you saw in the video. Anyways, that's it. Much cooler Jeremy here to show you much cooler demos. Let's get back to the boring ass video, okay? This is a fractal generator, and it works with seeds, a recursive section, a color section, and our modulators again. So if we go into the seed, we're going to see that we have a shape. Right now we're using a square. I can change the shape to triangle, which I really like. There's all kinds of shapes in here. So we have these little squares. You can see that we're getting some interesting stuff going on in the background. These can be obviously LFO'd, right? So let's do that. Let's LFO that. Now this is a different type of LFO. I'm not sure why we don't get access to the normal LFO. This is called a rose LFO, and it uses a formula over here. I find it to be a little much, so I generally like to slow it down. There we go. I like these to be kind of trippy. There we go. Now you'll notice that the rose LFO actually goes after two separate parameters, which is kind of interesting. One thing I will say as you use this is that make sure that if you see something you like, save it, because it's so easy to accidentally like just go too far with your patches and make them into fractal mush. So if you like something, just save it, and then you can always like make another version of it. Okay, so this is pretty cool, right? We have a fractal seed, we have a texture. So right now the texture is simply a solid RGB value. I can change this to anything. Including our, and this is where things start to become fractal mush. This is our spectrum analyzer. Here is like lights. Here is another audio analyzer kind of thing. It's kind of neat. I don't like the blend mode on that. I can actually put video into that. I can put our cat into that. You can see our cat in there somewhere. Yeah, it's really, really wild. I can put my video into it. So if I was to change the shape here to a solid, is this a solid? We're going to see that it just fractalizes me. Dance party break. All right. We have an effect that we can put on it. So this is a lot of the stuff we talked about before. In that one effect section, a lot of like RGB effect kind of things. Then we have this stripe thing. I'm not really sure how to describe this, but as you can see, we now have this kind of stripey thing in there. I don't really like the stripe all that much. I like things to be a bit more solid, but I'm sure there are situations in which you want that stripe in there. And then here are the waves that make up some of the stuff that's happening on screen. So if I switch these, we should see some differences. There's a lot of just sitting and messing around when it comes to this thing. I'm having a lot of joy from it because I just put on a DJ mix over here and just sit and like mess around, and it's really, really fun. I really, really enjoy seeing what the math does next. I should have access to a band wave here. Yeah. So here's an auto-reactive wave that we can, an reactive shape that we can use to generate our thing. And now you can see that we have audio reaction in our fractal. So that's pretty damn cool, right? Whoa. Whoa, yeah, that's great. Okay, I'll leave it like that. In our recurse section, we have our blending. So in video synthesis, one of the big fun things to do is feedback mixing. So you basically send the signal back into itself. Well, one of the ways that you do it is like putting a camera facing the output of your original signal and then feed that back into itself over and over again, and it creates this forever depth thing. So what we're seeing right now is just the seed, the fractal seed that we had before. If I switch over to any of these other ones, we're going to start seeing that recursion baked into it. And that's where a lot of like trippiness comes from in this situation. That's super cool. We do have the ability to add an effect to the recursion and stuff. And then we can do some interesting things to how this is shaped on screen. So these are functions. Check this out. So I can change the way that this stuff is folded around geometrically. And we're getting into like really classic like milk drop territory, you know? I like it. I think it's dope. Ooh, that auto reactiveness is doing a really good job there. That is so cool. And then we have a fold over here that we can do more to. So it's just, it can get really, really wild and a little almost too much. Like I said earlier, like restraint is a really important thing here. Because if you turn it into too much mush, it becomes difficult to like kind of like enjoy. You have to be like kind of restrained in how you approach this stuff. And all of these have parameters. If I go into expand or just go to parameters, we'll see that like I can adjust some of this stuff here. So I can make this how I want, and I can LFO those things. So if I go into here, hit LFO, we'll get that rose thing again. And now we'll get rather insane amount of movement. All right, great. So that is our recursion section. If we go into our color section now, we will find we have two effects and our light. I want to work with our light right now because that's going to have a big effect on how we see this. See how those colors just got a lot more vibrant? Oh, that's good. Yeah. I really like that color. That's great. All right, so I'd say that's a good introduction to the Fractal engine and how that works. Let me show you another engine. This one is called Wavy Boy. Wavy Boy. So this is one that I made. As you can see, we have some old school like 3D pipe kind of stuff going on. I'll go to the default Wavy Boy. So here's the default Wavy Boy. We have controls over our thing there. If we go into our waveform, our 3D waveform, you'll notice that we have multiple waves that we can choose from and a texture. So once again, this texture can be all kinds of things. You can make it the, cool lights that we had earlier. I can change my waves. Hey, where are you going? Come back here. And if I turn these, you'll notice that I'll have some things that I can manipulate. So if I bring this down into here, I like that right there. I'm going to manipulate that. So that is parameter speed. I'll hit LFO and I'll just hit start. And now we'll see that speed up and slow down according to an 8-bar phrase. I'm going to change this to 4 bars, or actually 2 bars. Yeah, that's great. And now I'm going to play around with these a bit more. Ooh, that's cool. Anywhere you can find like kind of subtle audio interaction by adding an LFO, just do it. Great. I like our little Wavy Boy here. All right, X frequency. Oh no, poor Wavy Boy. Oh no, I feel that probably hurts them. Then we can go into our scope. See what parameters we have here. View. Oh, there we go. Spin. Let's put that on something. LFO. I want a scroll for that because I want it to be constant. Cool. I'm going to attach this to a modulator. That is one of our sort of like ripple-shaped modulators here, affecting the 3D view of this object. And as you can see, things are very wild. Oh my gosh. Oh no, now I'm in there. I don't want that. Here's an audio version of it. Oh, it's too much. It doesn't like it. It's too much. We're hurting our Wavy Boy. Let's go back to this, and we'll just kind of take this down a little bit. So it is really, really fun to put wild stuff on here. Like you can see there's different versions of this that are very cool. If I randomize all of this, we'll see that Wavy Boy can get pretty wild. Sort of like SCP, like pipe world kind of shit going on. My favorite Wavy Boy is the one that I made, which is this. So now you'll see that. See how we have this like interference on the X and Y? That's what I was trying to do earlier when I was showing you this. I don't know exactly like how I managed to get it so wild. But yeah, here's a Wavy Boy that isn't like quite so insane. If I go into my color area here, I can play with my light and get different effects. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so there's interference. This one is super cool. All right, so this creates and manipulates interference patterns. If I go to expand here, we can get this really trippy really, really quick. So our guide layer. Do we have a spiral? Yeah, this is the hypno generator. There we go. So let's see what we want here. I'm going to put that on a scroll. Oh, not that. I want to put that on something. So I'll go into here, wave, LFO, start. Now, unfortunately, this is a rose LFO and not a scroll LFO. So we get that bounce back and forth, which I'm not really sure how to negate. Oh, that's cute. You're inside the washing machine. I like that it's just kind of grooving. All right, so we're not going to use that. Cosine, we can fold it if we want to. Remember that fold command from earlier? Pretty wild. Ooh, wow. That's cool as hell. Let's put an LFO on this. I know we're not doing the classic hypno pattern. I'll show you one that I had a second ago that I made yesterday. It feels like a second ago. So I'm going to go into our LFO. I'm going to change this to like 32 bars so it's kind of slow and undulating. That's not slow and undulating at all. Let's change these to less amounts. Looks like chromatophores. Wow, that is wild. We lost our spiral, but we gained this insane chromatophore thing, which is actually pretty damn cool. And if we change our wave, we can obviously get different patterns in here. The wave is what's permutating a lot of this stuff. Well, not that wave. These are CV waves, and since we don't have any CV information going in there, we're not getting anything. There is actually a wave called a note wave, which will, I think, respond to MIDI notes, which is pretty cool. But I think for this, we probably want to go back to a simple wave. Whoa. Would you like multiple hypno spirals? Sure. Yes, Daddy. All right, we'll go into here. This is our interference pattern. This is going to have a huge effect on how this stuff looks. You can see these waves interacting with each other and creating different patterns, which is super cool. So like with the other ones, we have this color section here with lights and various things that will affect how our post-processing looks. And again, like with something this big and complex, it's really just like get in there and mess around and see what happens. For me, it was like I need to know how the workflow works, like how I can pick from things and how they affect each other. But besides that, I really just kind of want to mess around. And once you get to the point where you're just like good, like you have enough information to be dangerous, that's when the fun begins, right? Like you just like play around and see what you can get out of it and then save stuff, because when you hit something that makes you go like, ooh, that's fucking cool, then that's when you hit save and then you have a library of your own stuff. And because this thing is constantly pulling from audio, it really likes full tracks and it likes like dance music, really. So steady beats, it'll work with stuff that's not 4 on the floor. It's just constantly reacting to whatever audio you're putting in there. So it will work at a live gig. It'll work with different live sets that you pick. And if you go into these different sections, like play and perform, then we can do some really robust like live set planning, or just mess around and see what happens. There's me again. Wow, I forgot what I look like. I like this one. Yeah, look at me. I'm caught in a noise spiral. Oh no, on my mic. Oh, Shantae. You can set the sort of like fade duration between presets. You can see that it's smoothly fading between them, which is really, really neat. So you can set that and it will, I think I have mine set to 8 bars. So it's going to take like 8 bars to get between different presets. And I still have some control over them once I'm in this stage. It's a very, very cool device. I will let Editing Jeremy tell you really quick what some other alternatives to this kind of thing is, because obviously this is like a $1,200 box as the writing of this. I believe that from a value perspective, I think it's actually not a terrible deal. Hey, Editing Jeremy here. I'm just going to stop that idiot from talking. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He'll make some presets and play along with the thing while I tell you about alternatives to this box, because there are some. Video synthesis is a esoteric and niche and therefore sometimes expensive thing to get into, especially if you're looking at some of the higher end boxes. But there are cheaper alternatives to this, and yeah, let's talk about them. So we have something like the Critter and Guitari Izai. This thing looks pretty cool. There are also the Critter and Guitari video scopes. I'm not sure that these are actually still available or not. I used to be obsessed with all of the little video scopes, but I don't remember them looking like this when I was obsessed with them. So they might still be in production. I'm not sure. There is the erogenous tone structure. This is a Eurorack module. The ST version has been around for a while, and there is an HD version on the way, but I don't exactly know when. There is the Mainbow analog video synth. There is the Wave Blitter black and white video synth. There is the Sleepy Circuits Hypno. I probably should have led with that because I think that's probably the most similar to what we're dealing with here, though the ability to build complex patches within the Recursion Studio is completely unique to the rest of what we're talking about here, as far as I can tell. It's like having a dedicated visual computer, visualizer computer within a box. But the Sleepy Circuits Hypno is great. I've done a video on that too. You can check it out. The last three are pretty well known to anybody that is into video synthesis already, and those are the LZX series of products. LZX makes video synthesis modules. Video synthesis can be done in a sort of Eurorack style thing. They also have a couple standalone boxes like the Cro-Magnon and the Vidiot. The Vidiot I don't think is in production anymore, but it is adorable. I love the way this thing looks. So those are some options and alternatives in hardware. When it comes to software, which is obviously going to be a lot less expensive, we have Magic Music Visuals. There's things like the vSynth package for Macs, Python 3 and Pygame, Hydra, which is a live coding thing, Lumen, which is a Mac-only program but is really, really fantastic, Jitter, which is the visual side of Mac's MSP. And then, I don't know if many people know about this, but the module maker Raya Media, who I've done a couple videos about their modules, they have a little app called Rotospin, which is a video synthesizer. So definitely check out Rotospin. It's cheap. You can play with it on the go. Lumen is also really, really cool. So those are some alternatives to go check out if you're interested in video synthesis. All right, we're back. Just finishing up. Wonderful. I want to thank Lily K over here for their amazing music. Thank you so much for being with me here and DJing for this. It's been very, very fun. We have Fractal Lagoji, Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. Fractal Luigi here. And we're having a good time. Thanks so much. Thanks for Entropy and Sons for sending this over. Sorry it's been so long since I've been able to get to it. It's a cool box. I hope people who are interested in visuals check it out. And I'm glad that you spent this time with me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jeremy. This is Remy's Recording, and I hope you have a very Lagoshi day.